Alright, while charging here, I'll quickly go over my hyperpro settings. So my rear shock, I finally have the right settings found for my bike. I'm 80 kilos and I do mostly commutes. It's great to have a good shock and to have the proper adjustments dialed in. So this is what I'm using. I have it written down. Yeah, up front I'm currently back to the default. So I literally have the default settings: compression 2.5 and rebound 1.5, and then 7 turns for the preload. For the rear shock, so the biturbo has been replaced. The preload I haven't adjusted. That's okay for my 80 kilos that they did in the factory. I have two high and low compression settings, and they both go from 0 to 30, and the default setting or the recommended setting is 15 clicks from the hardest, so it's always counting from the hardest setting. I did try it after riding 15 and 15. I did try riding 20 and 20, which is a bit less stiff, so more, and you can check, there is a rubber band on this shock, you can check if it compresses too much or not by looking at that rubber band. Otherwise you can just put a tie wrap on there. But I also tried 25, and when I had it set to 25 and going over speed bumps, it would bottom out completely. So 25 is just not able to handle the weight of this bike. So I didn't. Instead, I used the low speed. I stayed on 25, but then the high speed I went to 20, so that it would not bottom out on those speed bumps. The stock, the biturbo one was also bottoming out. Yeah, of course, if you are for track and so on, or for more joyriding, you would probably prefer the 15 clicks, which is more, a stiffer setting. But as you can see, it did no longer bottom out at 20 and 25. Well, no, 25 for the low speed and 20 for the high speed. Now that I know the correct value, I can remove these. At first I thought you would be able to grab these knobs and turn them around, but apparently it's not meant to be used like that, so you really have to use the screws. Well, similar to the shock up front, it's also using those copper-like screws. And it's counting those click. The ones up front are just counted in half and full turns. Those here are counted in clicks. And then the bottom setting, the rebound, that's how fast it returns to the normal state after it's been compressed. And for that I had you have 40 positions. And the default setting is 20, again exactly in the middle, and I went to 30. That seemed to work best for my use case. So I ride mostly commutes, highway, and I do like it a bit comfortable. I know I was talking about how the Zero has a better suspension, or that it was working better for me. Well, it has the benefit of being, it needs to handle less weight, so that's of course a big benefit. But then also looking at the rear shock, the Zero has a fully adjustable Showa suspension. It's fully adjustable. It's not high and low speed compression separately, but there is a screw to adjust the compression. There is also external reservoir. It's a bit strange shock configuration because it's mounted upside down. I think that's done to have better access to the or maybe just to have room for the external reservoir and access to the settings. So the rebound is a bit difficult to change, but the preload and the compression are easy to access that way. Now that I'm charging here at full 75 amps, did anyone ever replace these rubber things that cover the port when it's not in use? I guess that's just done to keep the moisture out. But in our car, for example, we have an electric car as well, and there they have a superior system with latches. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.